Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to Drawing Down the Stars. I'm Snappy, and thank you for joining me for our live tarot session today, September 17th, 2024. It's a beautiful, full super moon. And I also want to give a quick shout out to my dear friend and co-host, Dion of Occult Exploration Society. It's their birthday. Happy birthday to Dion. So, with today being the full moon, the super moon, so beautiful, I wanted to read to you guys a couple poems that I just found really inspiring and of the moment. So first, this is called To the Moon by Percy Shelley. Goes, art thou pale for weariness of climbing heaven and gazing on the earth, wandering companionless among the stars that have a different birth? And ever changing like a joyous eye that finds no object worthy of its constancy. Thou, chosen sister of the spirit, that gazes on thee till in thee it pities. Just wow. I have another one for you here. It's called Bright Star, Would I Were Steadfast as Thou Art by John Keats. Bright star, would I were steadfast as thou art, not in lone splendor hung aloft the night, and watching, with eternal lids apart, like nature's patient, sleepless eremite, the moving waters at their priest-like task of pure ablution round earth's human shores, or gazing on the new soft-fallen mask of snow upon the mountains and the moors. No, yet still steadfast, still unchangeable, pillowed upon my fair love's ripening breast, to feel forever its soft fall and swell, awake forever in a sweet unrest, still to hear her tender taken breath, and so live ever, or else swoon to death. And I have one more for you. This is probably my favorite of the bunch. It's by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. It's called The Harvest Moon. It is the harvest moon, on gilded vanes and roofs of villages, on woodland crests, and their aerial neighborhoods of nests, deserted, on the curtained window panes of rooms where children sleep, on country lanes and harvest fields, its mystic splendor rests. Gone are the birds that were our summer guests. With the last sheaves return the laboring wains. All things are symbols. The external shows of nature have their image in the mind. As flowers and fruits and falling of the leaves, the songbirds leave us at the summer's close. Only the empty nests are left behind, and piping of the quail among the sheaves. Just beautiful. And the message is clear, everyone, from these poems. Go out under this powerful, beautiful moon and experience nature in all her beauty. Experience Diana, right? Selene, Artemis. It's such a beautiful time. And this is a profound, transformative moment, right? We are in the super moon in Pisces. And what that means is that we can dive to the depths of our emotion, to our imagination. We can fully explore ourselves, right? And then combined with the sun in Virgo in this moment, we can really then put our dreams into practical reality. This is such a powerful, actionable moment in history. If you truly want to do the rites, this is the perfect moment. We're also in a partial eclipse. Get out under that moon. Imagine your future and put it into practice, into action, and have the audacity to try, to ask, to believe in yourself, right? And when I was meditating this morning and I was drawing my cards, I drew the Queen of Discs. Queen of Discs. That practical, grounded energy, the one that is embodied in the flesh, that is embodied in nature, that is aware, and that takes care and takes responsibility for her kin. That's also part of this energy. It's recognizing our responsibilities. We've been gifted freedom, but we must take responsibility, right? We have to learn to grow and adapt. That is the purpose of the cycles of generation, of experience, so that we can ever refine ourselves and learn to take our freedom not for granted and have the power to live in balance and harmony, right? Beautiful. Okay. Before I go forward, I want to give a shout out to the chat here. So, thank you all for joining me on the super moon. It's beautiful. Good to see you, Foundation. Lisa, much love. Valerie, good to see you. Gandhi, good evening. Taz, good morning. Good to see you. Hollerhaint, good evening. Geronimo, thank you for coming. Nikosmas, good evening. Christy, much love. I hope you feel better. Jeremy, good to see you. Valerie, much love. All right. So good. Mother Rhea, all the love in the world. D-Love, good to see you. Andrea, glad you made it. Good to see you. Okay. Daphne, much love. Barbara, good to see you. Okay. And Anne, much love, much love. Thank you guys for joining me. Okay. So when I was talking there and waxing poetic about the moon, I happened to knock my Ganapati oracle, right? And Ganesha Ganapati, they are that divine child, the guardian of the threshold, Lord of beginnings, master of the spirits, the Ganas. And I normally ask them to come and send us a message, but he decided to send it to us first. And the message here is decision. Decision. Deciding energy, right? This is that emperor energy. This is that magician energy, right? Having the strength to put your will into action and to decide, right? To imagine and project yourself into the future, you have to decide. You have to focus the mind, right? Decision requires focus and reason and strength and courage. Powerful, intense energy. Now is the moment when you can go under that sun and you can truly embody all of this energy and make the decisions necessary. You make them internal first, and then you actionize them upon the earth, right? You put them into practice, into motion, into creation. Make the decision. Be strong in your conviction and make it for yourself, by yourself, for your own reasoning. All right, let's continue. Okay, so we are going to jump to our sortes. So for those of you unfamiliar, the sortes is a form of bibliomancy, that is divination through literature. And it comes to us from the Greco-Roman tradition. And we invoke the goddesses of inspiration, the divine muses, and we ask them to inspire us and to send us a message through the text. So muses, what is the inspiration? Okay, and we're going today to Federico Garcia Lorca and the Three Tragedies. If you come to the pilgrimage to pray your womb may flower, don't wear a mourning veil, but a gown of fine Dutch linen. I've had this sortes before, but it is a profound one. It is a profound one. And this is telling you about the performance, about the engagement, right? Part of the magic is in the ritual. It is in the performance, right? And this is about creating a story and about truly believing. And if you embody something, and if you wear the costume, it affects reality. The image is everything. Don't dismiss and be cynical, right? And in this, if you want to get pregnant, then you have to embody that energy. You have to ask for that, right? So it's the same thing. If you want the universe to grant you something, if you want to ask the moon for help, you have to approach her in the right form with the right focus. So be clear. Remember, magic is all about the grammar. It's all about the spelling. Be sure of what you want. And remember, too, there are pitfalls. If you ask for that which is greedy or possessive, you will harm yourself. It's just tit for tat. Okay. Let us continue. Marlowe. All right. Dr. Faustus. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Dr. Faustus? Inspire us this evening. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is just funny. Think, Faustus, upon God that made the world. Mephistopheles, remember this. Faustus, I, go, accursed spirit, to ugly hell. 'Tis thou hast damned distressed Faustus' soul. It's not too late. It's just funny. This idea of damning one's soul. There's nothing to be damned. It's such silliness, you know? What it is it's about experience and looking where you're told not to look, right? That's really what the story is. The devil shines a light. He shows you. That's it. He gives you what you ask for, you know? And you must take responsibility for your own actions. If you are damned, it is by your own action, you know? If you get something and it turns to feces, it's who wished for it, right? Who asked for it? Who brought it into action? You are responsible for your actions and your words and your desires. You know, no one damns you but yourself. Okay, let us continue. Goethe. All right. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Goethe in his Faust? Will you forgive the liberty I took? My own audacity surprised me, so to accost you by the ministered door. Wow. Again, we're being told about this responsibility and self-control and the necessity for control, right? Why does there have to be an asking of forgiveness? Because there was a loss of control. And then he blames it on his audacity and he's surprised by his action, but he accosted someone. He accosted someone. He didn't get consent. He now has to ask for forgiveness, right? For his actions. And you can be forgiven, but you must learn then responsibility. True forgiveness comes from changing and not repeating the action. Wow. Interesting. Okay. We're now going to go to Byron. All right. Muses, what is the message from Lord Byron? Inspire us this evening. She ceased and turned upon her pillow pale. She lay, her dark eyes flashing through tears, like skies that rain and lighten as a veil. Waved and overshadowing her wan cheek, appears her streaming hair. The black curls strive but fail to hide the glossy shoulder, which uprears its snow through all. Her soft lips lie apart, and louder than her breathing beats her heart. Is this our living dead girl? She ceased and turned upon her or turned upon her pillow pale. She lay, her dark eyes flashing through their tears, like skies that rain and lighten as a veil, waved and overshading her wan cheek. Appears her streaming hair, the black curls strive but fail to hide the glossy shoulder which uprears its snow through all. Her soft lips lie apart, and louder than her breathing beats her heart. The living dead girl, right? The one who goes through the cycles of death and rebirth and transformation. And it is through that image, through the perception of that image, and through the love that she persists. Interesting. Let's continue. We're now going to go to the poems of W.B. Yeats. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Yeats? Take but his love away, their love becomes a feather of eagle, swan, or gull, or drowned heron's feather, tossed hither and thither upon the bitter spray, and the moon at the full. Wow. Okay. Take his love away, their love becomes a feather of eagle, swan, or gull, or a drowned heron's feather, tossed hither and thither upon the bitter spray, and the moon at the full. The eagle, the swan, and the gull, the drowned heron. These are all avatars of Zeus and Aphrodite, the bitter spray. Notice that Zeus is bound in Aphrodite, right? He's always tied up, can't escape those mortal women. And he usually appears as a swan or an eagle, sometimes a heron. Tossed hither and thither upon the bitter spray, and the moon at full. Take his love away, right? What are you left when you take away the love, but you still have Aphrodite? You're left with that ravenous Zeus. Oh, wow. Tossed hither and thither upon the bitter spray on the full moon. Wow. Crazed by the moon, poor Zeus is. Let us continue. The Three Musketeers by Dumas. All right. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Dumas? Inspire us this evening. In spite of all this seduction, Milady might fail, for Felton was forewarned, and that against the least chance. From that moment she watched all his actions, all his words, from the simplest glance of his eyes to his gestures, even to a breath that could be interpreted as a sigh. In short, she studied everything as a skillful comedian does to whom a new part has been assigned, and a line to which he is not accustomed. Wow. In spite of all this seduction, Milady might fail in her seduction. For Felton was forewarned, and that against the least chance, because her prey sees her coming, knows that her game is seduction. From that moment, she watched all his actions, all his words, from the simplest glance of his eyes to his gestures, even to a breath that can be interpreted as a sigh. In short, she studied everything as a skillful comedian does to whom a new part has been assigned, and a line to which he is not accustomed. An actor and a comedian. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? That muse studies us as we study her. That is the game of seduction, right? To learn the other like a skillful role that you might play. How do you please your audience, right? Do you know what to say to make them laugh? Interesting. Let us continue. All right. We're going to go to Michael Bertio, Monastery of the Seven Rays. Okay. Muses. What is the message from Michael Bertio? Inspire us. Ideality, which can be defined as the completeness of any state of being, that which incites the desire for imitation, that which provokes desire, that which arouses admiration, and that which suggests eternity and the fullness of perfection. And this is the eidolon itself. When they transcend and become the eidolon, when Helen becomes the eidolon and goes to the Elysian fields, she becomes that pure, deified beauty. The completeness of any state of being, that which incites the desire for imitation, right? That provokes desire, that which arouses admiration, that which suggests eternity and the fullness of perfection. You connect to the divine through the eidolon, right? Through the created image. Wow. And any of you who know Bertio will know this in his work. He constantly is creating these idealistic images, spirit windows. You know, he imagines deity and projects it into painted form and then uses that as a totem, as an eidolon. All right, let us continue. The complete illustrated Lewis Carroll. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Carroll? Inspire us. Aesthetic, my dear, aesthetic, remonstrated John. Aesthetics. It's all about the aesthetics, you know. It's all about the aesthetics, the art and creation of images, and the perception and reception of images, and recognize that the song, the myth, and the eidolon are all the same. They're all part of that greater theatrical production that must exist during the astrological times, at the fertility rites, so that you can give birth to the goddess in idealized form through these images, right? And you see this in multiple traditions. We have the aesthetes of India, those who follow the rasas, you know? And again, we see the same thing. The observation and creation and participation within the mythopoetic image itself. These grand theatrical artistic productions of dance and art and music, of smell and song, of ritual creation for the purpose of communion. Beautiful. It's all about the image. Aesthetics is everything, my friends. Okay. Bullfinch's mythology. All right. Muses, what is the message from Bullfinch? Inspire us. Now it was the term of Cuchulainn, who, as the others had done, cut off the giant's head at one stroke. Cut off the giant's head at one stroke. Cuchulainn. Cuchulainn is sort of like a Heraclean figure of the Celtic tradition, right? Very similar in many ways, right? And we know the giants, right? The giants are the children of Iphimedeia, of Hecate. They are the tyrannical monsters. They must be beheaded and resisted, right? We have to fight in that gigantomancy, right? Remember, even Athena, she has to literally raise the mountains and bury the giants in the earth to defeat them. Beautiful. Cuchulainn, right? The beheading of the tyrant and the setting free of oneself. Beautiful. Let us continue. All right, we're going to go to Amor Divina by Aleister Crowley. All right, Muse. What is the message from Crowley? Inspire us this evening. It is the fire of Prometheus in the well-tended lamp of Vesta. It is the neph of the priests of Memphis, the disk of the sun in the arms of the Kephra, and the serpent entwined about the egg. Wow. Ask our brethren, the alchemists, and of the adepts of the rosy cross. The first answer, it is nothing but the lion with his coagulated blood and the gluten of the white eagle. It is the ocean wherein both sun and moon have bathed. The others, it is the dew upon the rose that has concealed the cross. Ask of the ancients, they reply that the oldest of the gods is Saturn. Beware lest you also be deceived. Wow, there is so much here for those with ears to hear. Right? The fire of Prometheus in the well-tended lamp of Vesta. Right? This is the giving birth of that divine child to come. Right? The sex magic, basically. That's what we're seeing on full display here. The creation of a new generation. The coming together of the princess upon the lion, right? To draw down that star and to create a new cycle, to upset the old one through that Saturnian power of transformation, right? Achilles and Medea coming together to castrate Zeus. Interesting. Interesting. All right, let's continue. Okay, we're now going to go to Underworld by the Sepulture Society. Okay. Muse, what is the message from the Sepulture Society? Inspire us this evening. Okay. One might wonder if she has a connection to the carrion birds, but the North tradition connects these rather with Odin, who is himself a death deity, but not an underworld god. Despite the lack of sources on Nordic or Germanic paganism, there has been a serious resurgence in Nordic spirituality exemplified by the rise and popularization of Asatru. While Hel is certainly a less popular figure compared to Odin, Thor, or Freya, she does nevertheless have a small devoted following. As death is unavoidable and as very few pagans expect to die in battle, the role of Hel and Helheim has been reconsidered. This is a natural and healthy development in pagan thinking. Interesting. Right? Hel, she's the lord of the city of the dead. Right? Hela, Hellas, Helen. You're noticing a theme here. These beautiful virgins who are queens in the underworld, who rule over the city. Interesting. We shouldn't forget these death deities, right? That a lot of people mistake, And I think that's the message, to look to figures like Hel and Hela or Helen. Interesting. Okay. All right, we're now going to go to Rebele. Okay. Muses, what is the message from Rebele? Inspire us this evening. We were taken into a little room, scattered all over with alarms. How we were treated then, Lord only knows. It is said that Jupiter on the diphthera, the tanned hide of the nanny goat which suckled him, which he used as a shield when battling against the Titans, writes down everything that happens in the world. Well, 18 goatskins would not suffice by my faith, friends and drinkers, to inscribe all the good viands, the wines they served up to us, all the side dishes, and the good cheer we were treated to, not even if it were written in such tiny letters as in that Iliad of Homer, which Cicero claims to have seen, so small that you could cover it with a walnut shell. Oh my gosh. This is just wild. I'm going to go back. Okay. We were then taken into a little room scattered all over with alarms. I'm not sure. This is so wild. How were we treated then? Lord only knows. So they don't know how they were treated in this room filled with these alarms, these clocks. Okay. Then it is said that Jupiter, Zeus, on the diphthera, the tanned hide of the nanny goat which suckled him, right? Remember, he gained his power through the milk of the goat. That gave him the ability to wield the thunder against Kronos. Wow. Which he used, then they say that he does kind of what Athena does. He uses the skin of the goat as a shield when battling against the Titan. He writes down everything that happens in the world. 18 goatskins would not suffice by my faith, friends and drinkers. Wow. So interesting. Yeah, the goat is also a drum, and the drum is a password. And the goat is also a woman in a skin. And inscribed on the skin in tattoos is the song. Wow, so many images here. So much Orphic wildness. Okay, let's continue. The shape of my will. Okay. This is by my dear friend Graham. Shout out to Graham. Okay, Muse. What is the message from Graham? Inspire us. I wish to kiss your wrists and pour the blood back into your veins. I wish to kiss your wrists and pour the blood back into your veins. That's really interesting. You know, Hecate is the blood drinker and the great recycler, right? That goddess is the one that churns the cycles, that fills and takes, you know, that blood. I wish to give your blood back, to give you life again. Wow. Interesting. All right, let's go to Boccaccio, the Decameron. Muses, what is the message from Boccaccio? Now her passion waxing ever more ardent for Bertrand, as she learned that he has grown a most goodly gallant, tidings reached her that the King of France, in consequence of a tumor which he had had in the breast, and which had been ill tended, was now troubled with a fistula, which occasioned him extreme distress and suffering. Nor had he come yet by a physician that was able, though many had essayed to cure him, but had rather grown worse under their hands. Wherefore in despair he was minded no more to have recourse to any counsel or aid. Oh, wow. Cancer in the breast that leads to a fistula, a tumorous growth. That no medical aid can help, and the physicians all make it worse. What a dark image. Interesting. Let's continue. All right, we're going to do one more, and then we'll hop to our tarot proper. We're going to go to 10 Plays by Euripides. Muses, what is the message from Euripides? Inspire us. And now for proof I shall tell the things I saw myself. In our father's house was Pelops. Excuse me. Was Pelops' ancient spear, which he brandished in his hands when he killed Onomaus, and one Hippodamia, the maid of Pisa. In your maiden chamber, the spear was hidden away. Oh, wow. The spear, the skeptron, the staff of authority, right? Yes, Pelops. Pelops' ancient spear. Wow, interesting. Ugh. All right, we're now going to go to our tarot proper. But before I do, please give me a like and a subscribe. And if you're at all interested in a private reading, reach out. You can message me, snappyddts@gmail.com, or find me on the Myth and Lore Discord, Snappy or Lady Snappy. All the info is in the description. All right. We are now going to use the Thoth Tarot of Lady Frida Harris and Aleister Crowley. And we are going to invoke Saturn Kronos and ask them to dissect our life, to cut it up and put it upon the plate. And we want to know, how do we best move and flow? How do we rise above our current conflicts? And how do we manifest our true will? And as always, the center card is the most important card. So let's see. And today's center is strength. The 9 in the suit of fiery wands. Having the passion and power to persevere, right? That Lady Babylon, Medea energy in its most refined energy, but it's still present. That inspiring fire, having the strength to pursue your desires, having the strength to persist, the audacity to try, to continue to follow that light as your guide, right? Beautiful. Where's this going? Yeah, there's a lot of worry. We're in the midst of a transformation. We're in the midst of a transformation, a growth energy, right? Powerful, transformative energy. And it is all about changing our current foundation, expanding this foundational energy. We're moving from the security of the 4, and we are trying to grow beyond that 5 into the balance and success of the 6. And we are worried. We are stressed. There's a bit of concern here. There's anxiety. But what we are being told is if we pursue our passion, what we truly desire, if we stay focused and have the strength, the worry is for naught. Where does that passion lead us? It leads us to that creation, that artistic creation. Beautiful, beautiful energy, right? This is the culmination of the alchemical wedding, the production of art, the creation of another, the birth of the child, the consummation of love, right? The combining of the male and the female, the lion and the eagle to produce that Fani's reform, the rebus, the divine androgyne, hermaphroditus, Fani's, right? Adrenahari Ishvara. Wow, beautiful, beautiful, powerful energy. Wow, we must have the strength. And what are we pursuing? We're pursuing that connection to that goddess in that powerful, connected sense. Okay, what is the Hierophant? The Hierophant is the voice of the mother, right? This is Venus in Taurus. And the Hierophant is the one that stands for that energy, that gives voice to Hera, who manifests that will over the cycles, who sees in that long term of generation, right? This is the teacher. This is also the autocrat. What I'm seeing here is that we have to have the strength to pursue this energy and embody this energy, right? To give rise to that creation. Oh, wow. Beautiful. Where's this going? Amazing. We are meant to take the leap. We are meant to embody that Fool, that Dionysian energy, and pursue after this. This could also be representative of a connection, a partnership, right? A marriage. And the message here is to dive in after this, to pursue this with the totality of our being, right? To pursue this with all of ourselves and to think love first, right? Look, the energy is generated from the genitalia, and the Fool throws themselves into the cycles in the pursuit of that passion. They have the strength, the audacity to leap. And we are leaping after that connection, Taurus and Venus, that marriage, that teacher, that guide. Wow. Beautiful, beautiful energy. All right. Ace of Wands. Wow. Part of this leap, again, we're seeing this. We saw this the other day. We need to take that new perspective, right? The strength here, it's about really following and chasing after this light, really taking that leap and chasing after it, right? And it's representative of that Hera, that beautiful goddess in that mother energy, right? And we need to chase this, to pursue that, to follow the light. Wow, so beautiful. Oh my gosh. I drew her this morning and we draw her again. What is the strength? Who are we connecting to? Who's at the other end of the Hierophant? The Queen of Discs, that great mother, the one who takes responsibility, who protects her children, who's embodied in the flesh, who's connected to nature, who builds that foundation. This is the energy we were speaking of, right? This is the foundation that shelters her loved ones. And we have to have the strength to connect to that energy, right? And we connect in this partnership, in this formal way, in this loving, connected way. And we have to have the audacity to jump, right? To go for her. Wow. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Wow. The completion, the success. If you pursue that passionate energy, where does it lead you in victory? It leads you to her, to that Queen of Discs, to that partner, to the one who will help you in the production of that art, right? Wow. Wow. And then last, now this energy I love to see in relation to all of this. This is what you asked for. This is manifesting that desire and having the audacity to ask for and achieving that victory, right? The victory is connecting to her in this passionate connection through that formal marriage, that partnership, right? And it produces that art, produces, wow. It's so wow, intense, beautiful energy. And the devil is also kind of Capricorn, and the Queen of Discs is Capricorn. Amazing. Amazing. Okay. All right. Before I flip my camera, please, once again, give me a like and a subscribe. It really does make a big difference. And if you're interested in a private reading, reach out and join us on the Discord, please. I'd love to chat with you. So let's take a look. The key to overcoming the worry, the fear as we expand, is to simply pursue that love, to jump in and embrace the victory. We've already won. Okay, we've already won. It's just, it's like the calm before the conclusion. We're in the process of achieving our manifesting this connection. It's almost here. We just need to keep jumping, keep pursuing it, and not be too worried, right? And then recognize this is having the strength to connect to her in that traditional realm, in that magical realm, in that Taurus Venus energy grounded in the earth, right? For the creation and sustaining of the family, for the building of foundation, right? Wow. And look, you got Taurus and Capricorn. Interesting. And then when we go here, right, we pursue this new passionate energy. It will lead to that artistic creation. And that artistic creation, all of this is what we've been wishing for. And that leads us up the mountain, right? This is the culmination of the coming together of forces, of dreams, of passion, right? All directed upon this union for the creation of this art, right? Wow. So much incredible energy here. Okay, let's look at the cross. Like, look at this. If you can see this from the new perspective, the 9 and the 6, victory and strength, so much power and abundance and love and passion on the horizon, exploding, transformative fire. Just beautiful, beautiful, powerful energy, radically transforming your life. Wow. And the key here is to have the audacity to ask for what you want and having the strength to pursue it. To take the leap and to keep going and to ask the devil, right? To climb that mountain and to make it to her. But this is also guaranteed. The victory is here. The success is here. The connection is here. Oh, wow. That's incredible. All right, everyone. The message is pretty clear. Be strong. Chase that fire. Take the leap. Pursue love. Don't worry about the material. Focus instead on that connection, on the creating of art and of the coming together in commitment, in partnership. Beautiful. Love it. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. This was so fun. And I'm glad you were here for the full moon. Before we end today, we're going to do one final sorties. But I also want to say, get out under the moon. Get out under the moon. Experience Diana in all her glory, that Artemis Selene Hecate, right? The Trimorphos, that goddess in her super moon, right? That great reflector that allow you to see the depths of yourself, to see your connection to the universe. Engage with this energy. It's so beautiful. All right. So for our final message, we're going to go to Entering the Desert by Craig Williams. All right. Muses, what is the message from Craig Williams? Okay. You remember that the purpose of the Dionysian mysteries was to bring people back to the animal, not what we commonly understand by that word, but to the animal within. She looks directly into the eyes of an animal, and they are full of woe and beauty because they contain the truth of life, an equal sum of pain and pleasure, the capacity for joy and the capacity for suffering. The eyes of the very primitive and unconscious men have the same strange expression of a mental state before consciousness, which is neither pain nor pleasure. One doesn't know exactly what it is. It is most bewildering, but undoubtedly here she sees into the very soul of the animal, and that is the experience she must have. Otherwise, she is disconnected from nature. Otherwise, we are disconnected from nature. We must all experience the animal, the instinctual, the unconscious. And the moon is a part of that. It allows you to go to the depths and become that huntress once again, to engage with Artemis. That's the message, everyone. Peace and love. And I hope I will see you again tomorrow for more sorties. Enjoy the super moon. Take care.